Dear ladies and gentlemen, there's something I need you to understand today, something that heaven has already written over your life. You weren't meant to quit. You weren't created to collapse under the pressure. You weren't designed to die in the valley. You were built with divine endurance, spiritual fire, and a calling that refuses to be silenced. Quitting might feel easier right now. You've prayed, cried, pushed, and still the mountain hasn't moved. You've done everything you know how to do, and yet the breakthrough seems far off. But what if I told you that the fact you're tired doesn't mean you're done? What if I told you that God's strength shows up best when yours runs out? You weren't meant to quit because what's in you is greater than what's against you. Yes, the burden is real. Yes, the battle is intense. But you are still breathing, and that means God is not finished. Do you know how much courage it takes to stay in the fight when quitting would be more convenient? That kind of strength doesn't come from your willpower, it comes from knowing that even when you're weak, you're still chosen. Even when you don't feel like it, you're still equipped. Even when you're limping, you're still in the race. Every champion had a moment when quitting looked like the only option, but they didn't, and neither will you. Because your story isn't over, your testimony is still being written, and the part you're in right now, the messy middle, the silent struggle, the sleepless nights, this is what makes the victory powerful. If the enemy could have stopped you, he would have by now, but here you are, still showing up, still lifting your head, still hoping. That's proof that quitting is not in your DNA. You were built to rise. You were meant to finish. You were born to overcome, so don't give up, don't give in. Don't let the silence make you doubt your significance. God is doing something in the dark that will shine so bright when the time is right. And until then, plant your feet, fix your eyes, and declare it over yourself. I was not meant to quit, I was meant to conquer. 10 key points from you weren't meant to quit. The presence of pressure doesn't mean the absence of purpose, it's proof that something inside you is worth fighting for. You're still here for a reason. Survival isn't random, it's intentional. God's strength begins where your strength ends. When you can't carry it anymore, He lifts you up. Every hero in Scripture had moments where quitting looked like the easiest choice, but God didn't let them stay down. Progress often feels like pain, but it's proof that you're pushing through, not backing out. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. Obedience in weakness is greater than performance in strength. The delay is not denial, it's development. God's building something in you that requires time and tension. When you feel the most broken, God is often doing His deepest work in your spirit. Hell knows your potential, that's why the enemy keeps pressuring you to quit. You were never meant to quit, you were called to rise, to run, to finish the race and see the glory of what God started in you. Absolutely. Here's ***, key point 1 *** from ***, you weren't meant to quit, ***, fully expanded in ***, large length ***, written in the emotionally honest, faith-driven and deeply motivating tone inspired by Stephen Furtick ***, without a subtitle or conclusion ***. The presence of pressure doesn't mean the absence of purpose. In fact, it often means the opposite. The reason it feels heavy is because what you carry has weight. Destiny has weight. Calling has weight. Anointing has weight. And anything that carries eternal value will always come with resistance. But don't let the pressure convince you that you've missed your purpose. Sometimes, ***, the very evidence that you're called is the intensity of the opposition you're facing, ***. See, we've been conditioned to believe that peace means ease. That if we're walking in purpose, the path will be smooth. But real purpose doesn't avoid pressure, it produces it. Think about anything worth building. A diamond is made under pressure, gold is refined by fire, and strong muscles are only built by pushing against resistance. Why do we think our spiritual lives would be any different? The pressure you're under isn't proof that you're failing, it's proof that you're becoming ***. You're being stretched in ways you never imagined. Your patience is being tested, your character is being refined, your faith is being matured, and even though it's painful, it's not purposeless. It's forming something deeper inside you than comfort ever could. Some of the most powerful moves of God happen asterisk asterisk under pressure asterisk asterisk. Moses was under pressure when he had to face Pharaoh. David was under pressure when he stood before Goliath. Esther was under pressure when she stood in front of the king. Jesus was under pressure in Gethsemane, sweating drops of blood before the cross. The pressure didn't mean God had abandoned them, it meant God was positioning them for something greater than they could see. You may feel overwhelmed, you may feel like giving up, but here's what you need to understand. The fact that it's hard doesn't mean it's wrong. The fact that it's stretching you doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It might actually mean you're on the asterisk asterisk only asterisk asterisk path that leads to the version of you that God designed, the version that can carry the vision, lead with humility, and stand when everyone else falls. And you're not alone in that pressure. God is not watching you from a distance. He's right there in the fire, right there in the tension, right there in the midnight hour when no one sees the tears but him. And he's not just present, he's using it. He's turning the pressure into power, the resistance into resilience, the pain into purpose. So instead of seeing pressure as a sign to quit, start seeing it as a sign you're close to the breakthrough, close to the shift, close to stepping into who you were always meant to be. The pressure is real, but asterisk asterisk, so is your purpose asterisk asterisk. And the pressure you're feeling right now is not trying to destroy you. It's trying to asterisk asterisk deliver you asterisk asterisk. Absolutely. Here's asterisk asterisk key point 2 asterisk asterisk from asterisk. You weren't meant to quit asterisk fully expanded in asterisk asterisk large length asterisk asterisk with spiritual intensity, emotional honesty, and empowering encouragement in the passionate, raw, and hopeful style inspired by Stephen Furtick asterisk asterisk without a subtitle or conclusion asterisk asterisk. You're still here for a reason. That may sound simple, but it's profoundly powerful. The fact that you're breathing right now means that purpose is still alive in you. It means that heaven hasn't withdrawn its assignment from your life. It means the author of your story hasn't put down the pen. And no matter how discouraged, defeated, or delayed you feel asterisk asterisk, you're still standing asterisk asterisk. And that's not an accident. We underestimate survival. We dismiss what it really means to have made it this far. We often don't realize that asterisk asterisk just waking up and facing the day asterisk asterisk after everything we've been through is a miracle. Because there were moments you didn't think you'd make it. Nights you cried yourself to sleep. Battles you fought in silence. Doubts that shouted louder than your faith. But here you are, still fighting, still hoping, still holding on. You could have walked away. You could have shut it all down. You could have given in to bitterness, resentment, fear. But something in you said, not yet, not today. And that something isn't weakness, that's strength. That's spiritual fire. That's the echo of purpose still alive inside your soul, even when your flesh feels done. Maybe no one applauded you for it. Maybe nobody noticed the silent decisions you made to keep going, but God saw it. He saw the prayer you whispered through tears. He saw the forgiveness you extended when it hurt. He saw you press through that anxiety, that depression, that heaviness, and asterisk still choose to believe asterisk. Heaven celebrates things we often overlook, because survival is not passive, it's asterisk asterisk, sacred asterisk asterisk. It's evidence that grace is working even when you can't feel it. You're not here by coincidence. You're not just floating through time. Your life is marked. You were created with divine intention. And if you're still in the fight, then that means asterisk asterisk God is still unfolding his plan asterisk asterisk. Maybe you don't see the full picture yet, but you're not supposed to. Your job is not to understand it all. Your job is to take the next step, trust the process, and refuse to quit even when you're tired. There is something uniquely powerful about people who shouldn't still be standing but are. Something about that resilience, that fire, that refusal to quit that causes the kingdom of darkness to tremble. You've already survived the things that were sent to destroy you. That means there is asterisk asterisk something on your life that hell can't touch asterisk asterisk. Something that's worth protecting, worth building, worth finishing. So stop minimizing your survival. Stop questioning your place in the story. Stop letting your struggle convince you that you're weak. You're still here, and that's not just a testimony. Asterisk asterisk, that's a weapon asterisk asterisk. It means the enemy failed. It means purpose still lives. And it means the next chapter is going to be asterisk asterisk greater than you imagined asterisk asterisk. Certainly. Here's asterisk asterisk key point 3 asterisk asterisk from asterisk. You weren't meant to quit asterisk. Fully expanded in asterisk asterisk large length asterisk asterisk. Written with bold faith, spiritual truth, and raw encouragement in the emotionally charged and anointed tone inspired by Stephen Furtick asterisk asterisk without a subtitle and without a conclusion asterisk asterisk. God, strength begins where your strength ends. That might sound comforting, but it's also uncomfortable because we like feeling strong, we like being in control, we like being capable, confident, composed. But there comes a point in every journey, especially the spiritual one, when your own strength will run out, when your wisdom isn't enough, when your discipline can't carry you, when your plans collapse. And in that breaking place, something sacred happens. Asterisk asterisk, that's where God steps in. Asterisk asterisk, he never asked you to carry it all. He never expected you to conquer life on your own. In fact, sometimes it's only when you're finally empty that you make room for his power to flow through you. Because as long as you're trying to hold it all together in your own effort, you're depending on asterisk asterisk, you asterisk asterisk. But when you come to the end of yourself, that's where grace takes over. You don't have to be the hero of your story. You just have to surrender to the one who already won the battle. You don't need to prove how tough you are. God's not moved by your perfection, he's drawn to your honesty, to the moment when you finally admit, I can't do this on my own. That's not weakness, that's the birthplace of supernatural strength. Some of you have been fighting so hard just to keep standing, but you're exhausted. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're still trying to carry something that only God can carry. You're still trying to fix something that only grace can restore. You're still trying to be strong in areas where you were never meant to rely on your own strength. The Apostle Paul said, when I am weak, then I am strong. Why? Because asterisk asterisk, God's power is made perfect in weakness. Asterisk asterisk, he doesn't wait for you to be whole to use you. He meets you in the brokenness. He doesn't require you to have all the answers just to keep trusting when you don't. And sometimes your greatest breakthrough doesn't come when you finally win, it comes when you finally asterisk let go asterisk. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of the lie that your strength determines your worth. Let go of the shame that whispers you're not enough. God never called you to be enough, he called you to asterisk asterisk, depend on him asterisk asterisk. And when you lean into that truth, when you finally release what you were never meant to carry asterisk asterisk, his strength becomes your supply. Asterisk asterisk, it will carry you through seasons you thought you couldn't survive. It will sustain you when your energy fails. It will lift you when you're too tired to climb. Because God doesn't just give strength, asterisk asterisk, he is your strength. Asterisk asterisk, and the moment you stop pretending you have it all together, is the moment his power begins to pull you together in ways you couldn't imagine. So if you feel weak today, you're in the perfect position for God to move. If you're at your limit, you're right where he can begin. And if you've run out of your own strength, asterisk asterisk, you've finally arrived at his. Asterisk asterisk, absolutely. Here is asterisk asterisk, key point 4 asterisk asterisk from asterisk. You weren't meant to quit, asterisk. Fully expanded in asterisk asterisk, large length asterisk asterisk. Written in a spiritually bold, emotionally deep and faith-filled tone in the style inspired by Stephen Furtick asterisk asterisk without a subtitle and without a conclusion asterisk asterisk. Every hero in scripture had moments where quitting looked like the easiest choice. That's not weakness, that's humanity. You're not alone in the wrestling match between giving up and going forward. Even the most anointed, the most chosen, the most courageous people we read about in the Word, they all hit a wall. They all had a moment where the burden outweighed the blessing, where the trial was louder than the truth, and where their emotions told them to throw in the towel. Moses stood before God and said, "I can't carry this people anymore." Elijah laid down under a tree and asked God to end his life. David wept bitterly in caves, hiding from Saul, wondering if the promise would ever come to pass. Jeremiah said, "I will not speak his name again," because the fire in his bones felt more like a weight than a weapon. Even Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane cried out in agony, "Father, if there's another way." Do you see the pattern, the presence of doubt, the presence of weariness, the desire to quit? They are not signs of disobedience. They are signs that you're in the thick of the fight. They are signs that you are walking through territory that's stretching your spirit, testing your trust, and proving your perseverance. And every single one of those heroes, though tempted to quit, chose to stay, chose to trust, chose to get back up, and you will too. You might think the struggle disqualifies you, but it actually connects you to a long line of people God used in powerful ways. The very people who doubted, cried, ran, questioned, and stumbled were the ones God trusted with the most significant assignments. Not because they were perfect, but because they refused to quit when it mattered most. You have to understand, the fact that it's hard does not mean you're not chosen. Sometimes it means you're right in the middle of what God is using to shape you. The fire doesn't disprove the promise, it forges the vessel. And God will let you feel the pressure not to destroy you, but to prepare you, to remind you that this calling is costly but worth it. Every time you choose to keep going, you're stepping into the same faith that carried those before you. You're stepping into the strength of Abraham, the courage of Esther, the endurance of Job, the grit of Paul. And the same God who saw them through their darkest night is the same God who's standing with you now. Not after you finish, not when you figure it all out. Now in the middle of the battle. So if quitting is screaming at you right now, you're not alone. You're in good company. And you're also in the perfect position for a God who takes warriors, and turns them into history makers. You may feel like giving up, but what God put in you won't let you stay down for long. Certainly. Here's key point 5 from you weren't meant to quit expanded in large length crafted with emotional depth, spiritual insight, and raw resilience in the bold and empowering voice inspired by Stephen Furtick without a subtitle and without a conclusion Progress often feels like pain, and that's the part we don't like to talk about. We love the idea of growth, but not the stretching. We celebrate transformation, but we don't always want to endure the tearing that comes with it. But you can't have one without the other, because real growth, the kind that changes your identity, your spirit, your mindset, it's not painless. It doesn't feel like glory in the moment. It feels like pressure. It feels like confusion. It feels like nothing's working. That's why so many people give up, not because they're not growing, but because they don't recognize their growth through the lens of pain. We've convinced ourselves that if we were on the right path, it would feel right. That if we were truly walking in purpose, we'd feel peaceful. But spiritual growth doesn't always feel peaceful. Sometimes it feels like being pulled apart. And yet, it's in that tension where God is doing his greatest work, You're not going backward, you're not breaking down, you're breaking through. But breakthrough rarely looks like you imagined. It rarely comes in shining moments with angels singing in the background. Sometimes breakthrough looks like tears streaming down your face while you still whisper, "God, I trust you." Sometimes it looks like showing up to the battle when you barely have anything left. Sometimes it's that one breath you take in faith, when quitting would have been easier. Do you know how strong you are becoming right now, not when everything is going right, but when you keep going in the middle of everything going wrong? Every time you choose to move forward through the pain, you're building something eternal. You're stretching muscles you didn't even know you had. You're gaining spiritual ground. It may not look like much to the world, but heaven sees every silent step, every sacrifice, every battle you fought in secret. And if you're waiting for your progress to feel like success, you might miss the miracle happening inside you. Because God doesn't measure your growth by comfort, he measures it by your obedience in discomfort. Sometimes just holding on is the victory, sometimes just continuing is the breakthrough, sometimes just not quitting is the win. You might not see the fruit yet, you might not feel the fire anymore. But don't mistake your current struggle for a lack of progress. You are becoming stronger than you've ever been because strength is being formed in the silence. Roots are growing in the dark, and heaven is building something inside you that pain can't destroy and pressure can't break. So, next time it hurts, don't say, I'm failing. Say I'm forming. Say God is still working. Say this pain is producing something in me. Because when you understand that progress and pain often come in the same package, you'll stop trying to run from the struggle and start seeing it as proof that you're being made new. Absolutely. Here's key point 6 from you weren't meant to quit fully expanded in large length filled with emotional fire, spiritual conviction, and raw encouragement, written in the empowering, faith-fueled tone inspired by Stephen Furtick without a subtitle and without a conclusion. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. We've been taught to measure strength by how loud, how confident, how visible it is. But heaven doesn't operate on that scale. Strength isn't just in the shout, sometimes it's in the whisper. Sometimes it's in the silent, trembling prayer. Sometimes it's in the moment you cry and still choose to believe. You think because you're shaking, you're failing, but God sees your shaking and calls it sacred. Because real strength isn't about feeling powerful. Real strength is obedience when you feel powerless. It's showing up when you don't want to. It's worshiping when you're wounded. It's trusting when there's no evidence yet. That kind of strength doesn't always look glorious. It doesn't always get applause, but it gets heaven's attention. You may not feel like a warrior right now. You may not feel like a champion. But the strength that God builds in you doesn't start with feelings, it starts with faith, faith that keeps walking even when the path is unclear, faith that says, I don't understand this, but I'm still going, faith that looks weakness in the face and says, you don't get the final say. Do you know how many people are waiting until they feel strong to start obeying God? But God never said, wait until you feel fearless. He said, be strong and courageous. That command wasn't about emotion, it was about decision. A decision to stand when everything inside you wants to run. A decision to believe even when you're barely holding it together. That is the kind of strength that shakes the gates of hell. Because the enemy doesn't get nervous when you feel strong. He gets nervous when you refuse to quit even when you feel weak. When you choose to walk by faith, not by sight. When you realize that your dependence on God isn't a liability, it's your greatest advantage. The weaker you feel, the more space there is for his strength to rise inside you. If you always felt strong, you'd never lean on him, you'd never call out, you'd never realize that what's holding you together isn't your talent, your strategy, or your confidence, it's his grace. And sometimes, grace doesn't make you feel powerful, it just keeps you going when everything else says stop. That's strength, the kind that doesn't quit when things get quiet, the kind that keeps building when nothing seems to be working, the kind that holds on to promises that haven't shown up yet, the kind that says, I may feel weak, but my spirit is not giving up. So if you're tired, if you're weary, if you feel like you have nothing left good, that's the perfect place for God's strength to show up. Because the miracle isn't that you felt strong, the miracle is that you stood when you didn't, that you moved forward anyway, that you believed when nothing around you changed. And that kind of strength, that's the kind that brings heaven down into your situation. Absolutely. Here's key point 7 from you weren't meant to quit expanded in large length written in a bold, raw, faith-filled voice inspired by Stephen Furtick, full of spiritual depth, emotional fire, and real-life honesty without a subtitle and without a conclusion . The delay is not denial, it's development, and that truth is hard to swallow when your heart is waiting and your prayers feel unanswered. It's hard when you've been faithful, obedient, prayerful, and still nothing has shifted. You ask yourself, did I miss something? Did God change his mind? Is he ignoring me? But what if the waiting room is not punishment, it's preparation? There is something God is doing in you during the delay that is just as important as what he's preparing for you . He's not just working on your situation, he's working on your character. Because a breakthrough given too early can become a burden you're not ready to carry. And God loves you too much to give you something that would crush you. So instead, he develops you quietly, slowly, painfully, but intentionally. Look at Joseph, 13 years between the dream and the palace, years filled with betrayal, false accusation, prison cells, and silence. From the outside, it looked like God had abandoned him, but from heaven's view, God was refining him, teaching him humility, shaping him into the kind of leader who wouldn't let power poison his purpose. The delay wasn't a denial, it was the very process that made Joseph into someone who could sustain what God had promised. That's the same thing he's doing with you. You see a delay, he sees construction. You see a pause, he sees a process. You think you're stuck, but he's digging deeper foundations, not to frustrate you, but to prepare you for the weight of what's next. Because shallow roots can't carry tall calling. And quick answers don't produce lasting strength. Sometimes the silence is the sound of God working behind the scenes. Sometimes the wait is where he rewires your identity. You thought he was just fixing your situation, but he's actually healing your belief system. Shifting your source, teaching you how to stand on promises, not emotions, teaching you how to worship when there's no spotlight, teaching you how to walk by faith and not by sight. And yes, it's hard. Development seasons feel lonely. They're full of questions. They make you doubt what you once believed with all your heart, but that's when the real faith is forged. Not when everything is moving fast, but when nothing is moving at all, and you choose to stay anyway. Don't waste your waiting, because the version of you that's coming out on the other side of this delay is stronger, wiser, deeper, more anchored. That version of you isn't just going to receive the promise, it's going to carry it with integrity . And when it finally arrives, you'll look back and realize it didn't come late. It came right on time for the version of you that was finally ready. So if it's taking longer than you thought, that doesn't mean God said no. It might just mean he's doing more than you ever imagined inside you first .